Hey guys, it's Girl Got Game. Welcome back to Seduce Me the Atomi. We're finally getting to Diana's route. And she has been baffling me for forever, basically, so I'm excited to finally go and start doing her route. I've been picking mostly chaotic options because she seemed to like that the most. I've also accessed my grandfather's laptop, so I know some magics. And I've just made pizza, and I've come to my room to eat it. So I'm going to start from here. So I'm going to stay in my room. Yes, stay in my room. Okay, so I've done this before, and let's see what options I can do. Why don't we browse the internet? Ah, the internet. It was a seductive beauty on my laptop computer screen. I decided that the best way to spend my day was in my bed, rummaging through the glorious world that was the internet. Getting comfy on my bed, I logged into my laptop and opened a browser. Automatically, it brought me to my email. 7 new college emails. Great. In almost perfect order, Harvard, Stanford, and 3 other business-oriented schools had emailed me invitations to visit their campus. I rolled my shoulders. Sunday. No workday. I closed out and looked into Roller. If it weren't for the overly dramatic hate on the site, Roller could practically be the greatest website ever created. Okay, so that's their Tumblr. GIFs, facts, hate, and blogs all in one beautifully crafted blue website perfect for wasting time and entertaining yourself. I really should change my theme. But to what? I let the thought slip from my mind. What replaced it, though, was the reality I was in. Magic. I decided to search for demons in the search bar of Roller. As expected, all that came up were pictures, either photoshopped or digitally drawn, of fictitious ideas of demons. Horns, wings, sharp teeth, blood. The whole stereotype was in that results page. I couldn't help but smirk a bit. If only the world knew the truth. How many posts would explode? As I scrolled, one post caught my attention. Chicago fantasy? I skimmed through the post to see snapshots of Chicago and a long essay from a user named The Raven That Got Kissed. Weird name. The essay talked about demons appearing at the worst possible times as a vampire war was starting up in the dark corners of Chicago. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Vampires. Well, if demons were real, why not vampires? At the very end, however, the writer made a cute advertisement about an establishment called The Raven's Kiss, which was a hipster gothic-style coffee shop in the outskirts of Chicago. Man, I would totally go to that. Yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime. I continued to skim through Roller, losing track of time until my stomach started growling for dinner. Okay. So I'm gonna glare into your soul so we can see Diana. I glared hard at Lisette, feeling wisps of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I saw. There she is. Around Lisette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demon magic, but it seemed to be tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lisette. Something was off. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lisette with red eye-like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you'd hear in horror games, but it was real. It sounded vaguely of a woman, humming a tune I didn't recognize.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and follow at my new quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost. Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad. I think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
You're not far off.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lisette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something, or someone, watching over Lisette. Or they were watching me behind Lisette. What they were doing, I didn't know, but it was definitely demonic. Okay. So now we have a fight on our hands. Talk to our grandfather. Speak Latin. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we said goodbye to the boys. Very sad. Okay.
You are an interesting creature.
And once again, this angle is so unflattering for you, Diane. You're so pretty. I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very sly smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but a hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I could only stare up at the woman above me. I still felt weak, not having the strength to move and fight her off. She was very beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement.
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known as she let another smirk grow onto her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Yep, she definitely likes feistiness. Before I could bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder, who looked much more beautiful now. Who the hell are you, and why are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making the rage inside me increase. I wanted to punch her, but I waited for her answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus. Great. I have now met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms under her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty, but you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at Diana. Why are you here?
Well, I came here to clean up what the boys clearly forgot to clean. Men. So sloppy.
What do you mean by that?
I mean erasing your memories, sweetie.
Maybe I can keep my memories this time. This woman wasn't serious, was she? She comes into my room and spouts this. This was ridiculous. I began to walk towards my door, wanting to leave the room. The boys could get rid of her. I had no mind about dealing with her myself.
The boys are gone, sweetie.
I froze in place. What? They were gone already? No way. I turned to Diana, glaring hard at her. She kept a smirk to me. You're lying.
Am I? If you want to go see for yourself, you can, but I promise you'll be wasting your time.
I stared, trying to find any hint if she was lying. She had to be. The boys wouldn't just up and leave without resting first, right? Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to make a choice. I decided to believe her for now. I'd find some hint in this conversation. What do you mean, take my memories?
Well, we demons can't have just anyone knowing about us. You have to completely devote your soul to learning about us. And even then, it's not always guaranteed that you can be granted knowledge of us.
What makes me not deserve to know everything? I was attacked by devils. I found the boys in my house wounded and sheltered them. I think I deserve to remember those moments. Diana let out a laugh, running a hand through her hair before looking back to me amused.
You were attacked by a gang and were almost killed. You found 5 homeless men and let them stay in your home. There's nothing special about either of these instances.
Yes, there was.
A human like you can't understand the rules. The boys themselves aren't even aware of the rules. They'll learn soon enough.
Diana flipped her hair before looking to me with a stern look.
Listen, sweetie. You're not going back to bed or leaving this house with those memories. I'm taking them from you, one way or another.
I glared, standing my ground. You're not taking my memories. I'm not letting you take them.
And what do you plan to do with them, huh? Tell the press? Gossip to your friends that demons exist? Confess to your parents that you had demon servants and were almost killed by a devil gang?
Now she was making me mad. Did she seriously think I was this stupid? These memories were precious to me, and I wasn't going to let her win over my mind. These memories are important to me. I know that other creatures exist. I know that magic exists. I'm more open-minded now.
Open-minded or gullible?
What does she mean by that? The point of being open-minded was to be open to all thought. How is that anything close to being gullible?
There is nothing to learn from remembering the boys that won't bring trouble. I'm merely saving you from that. There are more than just demons who want to keep their existence a secret. There are many creatures in this world that don't want to be known of, and you remembering a small fragment is not acceptable to them without good reason.
Diana smirked.
If you would have kept the boys, or at least had one of them around, they'd be a little more lenient to listen to your pleas. However, you're about to go into tomorrow without any of them around.
I couldn't believe my ears. There were more than just demons? Other fictional creatures existed? There was a system? What? Could those vampires have been real? Diana sighed and snapped her fingers, lifting my body up from the ground with her magic.
Look, I can kill you and no longer waste what little time I have, or I can erase your memories and go on with my life. I have more important things to do above arguing with you.
That noise, though. I looked down at the ground to see something that made every nerve in my body quickly quake in fear. On the ground was a large open mouth with sharp, wet teeth, leading to an empty black abyss. I could feel the heat from the mouth's breath pant against my floating body. Ah! I looked at Diana, who was looking at me with a stern and almost heartless gaze.
Make a choice, sweetie. Give up your memories or be a demon's snack. I warn you, he's quite the biter.
I was panicking. I was about to die. Again. The boys weren't here to protect me. What was I going to do? Make a deal for her heart. Then I remembered demons had a conscience. They weren't heartless without reason. She could to be reasoned with. She seemed like a businesswoman. Wait!
What? You're wasting my time.
What about a deal, huh? Diana raised an eyebrow. I was afraid she wasn't one to listen. What if she was as ruthless as I imagined her to be?
I'm listening.
Wait, really? Was she really willing to listen to me? She didn't drop me in the pit of death, but she didn't let me out of her spell. Now is as good a time as any to try reason. These memories are precious to me, but they're not worth me losing my life.
Of course.
I mean, if I die, people will wonder and try to find explanations to why I died or where I disappeared to.
Then just hand over your memories.
What if I traded them to you instead? You seem like a reasonable businesswoman. A trade is better than forcing me to give in, right? This was insane. I didn't even know she was willing to listen. She already had me hanging over a pit of death. The only thing I could hope for was her being forgiving enough to listen to reason.
Well, speak your terms. What do you want in exchange?
She was willing to listen further. Well, what can you give me in return for them?
I'm a demon. I can give you anything within reason. Money, men, women, power. Name it. Just make it worth the price.
She could really get me anything? My mind began to wander. What did I want? Her. Somehow, out of all that back and forth punching of words, we're like, you know what? She's pretty good looking, though. Let's get her on our side. Oh, good grief. Random stretch. I heard Diana stifle a laugh.
Me? Are you serious? What do you mean, me?
I want all of this, girl. I looked at Diana again. She was indeed scary, but she was gorgeous when not viewed from a certain angle, and somehow she interested me. More so than the boys. Wow. Hurtful. I mean, you staying with me for a little while. I want to get to know you and these rules you're talking about.
A human wanting to know more about a demon and the rules. You're really trying to step over your place, especially if you'll be losing those memories in the end.
But I'll make you fall in love with me, and then it'll be fine for me to keep those memories. I'm serious. I'll give you my memories and energy if you stay just for a couple days. A day, even. It'll be worth it.
Completely willingly?
Completely willingly.
And if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain?
Then you can feed me to your pit beast. Did that really slip out of my mouth? Was I really wanting to put my life back on the line again? If it meant keeping my memories for a little longer, then yes. Diana looked to me, scanning my body with her eyes for any signs of false intent. I didn't have any, so Diana sighed and snapped her fingers again. The demon below me vanished, and I was slowly lowered to the ground. I looked at Diana in surprise.
You are very lucky demon magic is so finicky.
Oh? What do you mean?
Why do you think demons make deals with humans like you?
I wasn't sure. Demons were still new to me. I had heard stories of people making deals with demons and only ruin coming from it. Diana sighed.
It's one thing to take your memories or your energy. It's another for you to willingly give it. We get more for our effort if the one we make a deal with is willing.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Think of it like sex. If I'm aroused and you're willing to open your legs for me, I'll get pleasure. I'll enjoy it. You might enjoy it. And it's done.
Thanks, girl. Thanks for the analogy. Appreciate it.
But if you aren't willing and I force myself on you anyway, it's not so pleasurable for me. Even if I get what I want, it won't be as worth the effort.
Alright, it works. Strangely, that made sense. It was very much like a business. If I had what they want, they could negotiate for it, or they could take it away anyway, but not without a fight. Were they all really business-oriented? My curiosity about demons grew as I realized what deal I had made. So you'll stay for a couple of days?
A day is enough.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Why are you copying me? Diana looked at me up and down once again. I felt a little naked all of a sudden under her gaze, but I ignored it as she shrugged.
All right.
Diana kept her eyes on me, unsure what was going on from the look on her face.
So, what do you want to know? You're obviously curious about demons enough to make a deal with me.
My first thought shot to her, but then I remembered the boys. Not all of my questions were answered, and I wanted to know everything. Oh, please, can we get some answers? That would be fantastic. First of all, who exactly are you? Diana chuckled before crossing her arms. Also, were you Eris at some point?
You may refer to me as simply Diana. As I said before, I'm a succubus, and I intend to bring the boys back home.
Back home? What do you mean? Back to the demon world?
Precisely. They don't belong here, and it's imperative that they return.
Why?
Did they not tell you? They're runaway royals.
In other lifetimes. I couldn't believe my ears. What? They were royalty? Why would they run away from royalty? Diana simply smirked at my new surprised face.
Ah, so they didn't tell you. How unfortunate. You were in the presence of a demon prince and his noble brothers, and you didn't even know.
I felt myself unconsciously walk over and sit on my bed. They hid something gigantic from me. Why? Did they not trust me? You knew each other for like 2 days. Thank you! Then again, it had only been a couple of days. Yes, I know that we fell in love in those couple of days. Went on their route, but they did help me and were here for me regardless, acting like servants instead of noblemen. I gripped my head in frustration. What am I supposed to believe?
Believe whatever you wish. The confusion will fade away soon enough, regardless.
I looked at Diana, who only gave me an almost somber look in return. She was serious about removing my memories, but she would keep her end of the deal until I learned all I could. That, and I felt thrilled to have her. Maybe it was because she was a succubus. I didn't know. I faced Diana. So, how did you get to the human world? how did the boys get here?
With the help of a human, in both of our cases. There's truly no need for details beyond that. Any human can cast a demon's summoning spell. It's just a matter of what happens during the summoning and after where things get tricky.
What do you mean?
Well, if a human is willing, only part of their life force is taken from them, and they are given one chance to open a bridge between our worlds to allow the demon they desire to come through. The more demons come through, the more life force the spell takes.
Ah, that explains Grandpa.
Luckily for the poor human that brought them here, the boys sacrificed some of their own powers to open the bridge instead of letting the spell feed solely on the human. The human lived, and the boys came through.
That almost made sense. Something in my mind clicked, but I couldn't clear it out to figure out what it was. I only nodded to Diana. And you were the same?
Somewhat. However, I don't care to go into details about how I came here. You'll forget soon enough.
Well, if I'm gonna forget, why don't you just tell me? That's not part of the deal.
You wish to have me around for more information. I get to decide what information to give.
Barf. Cheater.
It's not cheating if it's not a broken rule.
I crossed my arms and legs. Diana was a game player, and I didn't like her rules. However, they were the rules I had to accept in order to keep my memories a little while longer. I'd find a way to remember. She wasn't going to win. Diana let out a small chuckle and ran a hand through her hair.
Well, I believe I should head to bed. If I'm to stay here, then I need some form of sleep.
I watched as Diana crossed through my room to the door and opened it. She turned to me with a small wink.
Have a good night. See you in the morning.
Night. Before I could respond, she exited my room and closed the door behind her. I stared. It was like she was in control. I almost gritted my teeth at the thought. She wasn't the master of the house. I was. Crawled back under the covers. How did my life get so complicated? What was going on with me? I must have had serious bad luck. I covered myself with my blankets, wanting tonight to end. I needed tomorrow to come. School would take my mind off of things. If school actually happened, anyway.